Hey, welcome to 3D Printed. I'm Ed. Throughout this series, I'll be exploring the emerging world of additive manufacturing, or 3D printing as it's more commonly known. 3D printing has been described as potentially the next industrial revolution. This is a pretty remarkable claim, but once you start to understand 3D printing a little better, you'll soon see why this isn't so far-fetched after all. I'll be investigating many aspects of this emerging technology, and I will demonstrate how easy it is for you, the consumer, to transform yourself into a prosuming manufacturer of products from the comfort and safety of your own home. Today we're going to begin by looking at different types of desktop 3D printers on the market. We're going to start by looking at a closed platform Mojo printer, then the semi-open source FlashForge printer, which is the printer I'll be working with throughout the series. Finally, we'll take a look at the Felix 3D printer. The Felix is an interesting example because it's a fully generative and user-assembled open source 3D printing platform. Okay, so here we have the Mojo 3D printer by Satastrays. It looks like a big grey microwave, and it isn't really any harder to operate than a microwave either. Like the majority of desktop printers, it's not particularly big, which would only be an issue if you're aiming to print large objects, say bigger than a rock melon, in one piece. This printer will sit nicely on your desktop without taking up too much room, and the casing around the printer will prevent you from getting burnt by hot plastic. This is a great printer if you're new to the world of 3D printing and want to be told exactly how you can and can't use your machine, including what materials to use with the printer and where you can buy them from. The reason that the Mojo printer is a closed source platform is because it only works with cartridges available from Satastrays themselves. You need to buy the cartridges, printer trays, cleaning materials, and any additional software from Satastrays. A printer like this does limit your ability to assert control over your personal manufacturing endeavors, but it can be a great option if you have the money to spare and aren't particularly interested in inserting too much generative control. Next up, we have the FlashForge printer. This is a semi-open source platform. That is, it allows you a certain amount of generative freedom in your 3D printing endeavors. This printer will allow you to print quite effectively with ABS, PLA, and nylon plastics, and there's nothing really stopping you from printing with anything that heats up and melts by simply adjusting the temperature and flow speed of the printer in the 3D printing software. This printer is quite a cost-effective entry to the 3D printing world, with the initial cost of about $1,300 for the machine, including software. The other cost-saving feature of this device is that you can buy your plastics from wherever you choose, meaning that you are not bound to be forever handing your hard-earned cash over to FlashForge. This will save you considerable money in the long term. It is also quite easy to replace parts on the FlashForge printer, and you can buy these parts directly from FlashForge, so product maintenance becomes an aspect of the printer that you have control over as the consumer. As you can see here though, the printer is encased within a plastic shell. This makes it extremely difficult for you to alter the hardware of the printer, and is one of the key reasons that the FlashForge is not a completely user-generative open source platform. Finally, here we have the Felix printer. Felix is an example of a fully open source and generative DIY printing platform. Similar to the RepRap self-replicating printer, you can actually download the CAD file for this printer and print it yourself, assuming that you have access to a pre-existing 3D printer. The Felix is a low cost and is available as either a full kit or a fully assembled and tested product. It is also a very practical printer for transporting, as it can be easily carried around, is lightweight, and has a very stable frame. The generative nature of this open source printer enables users to modify the machine as they see fit, enabling you to exert limitless creativity on your platform. Essentially, you can print any material that can be heated up and melted. Although you can potentially burn yourself due to the printer not being confined to a casing, this can actually be an advantage, because it enables you, the prosumer, to make infinite and alterations and additions to the platform. An open source 3D printer such as the Felix is a highly recommended option for someone who wants to have complete control of all of their 3D printing endeavors, from software to hardware to the way that you make the printer look. Everything about the Felix printer is customizable, and that is what makes this printer a fully open source and generative platform. Suitable for beginners to experts, this printer offers a wide range of capabilities for any 3D printing application. So there you have it, open versus closed 3D printing platforms. The type of printer that you decide to use will depend on what you're using it for, but at the end of the day, the key thing to realize is that the more open source the platform is, the more control you'll be able to assert over it. In the next episode, we'll be looking at the environmental implications of 3D printing and how this technology can potentially make the world a much more sustainable place. Until next time, enjoy your 3D printing. Catch you later.